Absolutely, yes. So it's not actually a software upgrade. The CrowdStrike program, Falcon, is essentially a modern version of the old antivirus things we were all used to 10 years ago. And what happened was that Falcon, the program, didn't change. It's just there was an upgrade, an update to its rules for what constitutes a virus. And that update appears to have been malformatted and crashed the Falcon program, which is deeply sad. It's certainly not what anyone wants. There's a lot of talk at the moment in the technical community about exactly what went wrong and what CrowdStrike should have done and so on. But until we see their own, what we call in the trade, root cause analysis, i.e. exactly what went wrong and why the quality assurance mechanisms didn't fix it or didn't find it, then we won't know exactly what happened or what to do next. But what it has taught us is how incredibly reliable we are on all sorts of software systems. And one of the reasons it's taking so long is you have to get to the computer to fix it. And lots of these computers are these days in pretty inaccessible places. We've heard about them being in airport luggage handling systems and so on, and there are many much more obscure than that. Mm-hmm. And this makes us ask ourselves, how dependent are we on these systems and what are our backup plans? And I'm a member of the British Computer Society's Software Resilience Group, which has been looking at precisely these questions for a few years now and trying to produce best practices for industries, not just on trying to minimize the frequency, which of course we all should do. I've no doubt CrowdStrike will be looking very hard indeed at their quality assurance processes, mm-hmm. but also to reduce our reliability or to give us more plan Bs and so on, because what's quite clear is that...
Yeah, well, let's talk a bit more about that dependence that we have, the kind of disruption that we've seen for, banks, airlines. We really are vulnerable, aren't we, as a society? All of these international systems, so reliant on these technical systems. How can companies better prepare themselves for avoiding this?
Not all. What's happened here is that these companies like banks and airlines have bought off-the-shelf Microsoft, I'm not blaming Microsoft particularly, it could have been Apple or something, systems which are designed for general purpose use and therefore need to have antivirus protection and so on. They're on the internet, so could be attacked and so on. Some other industries, particularly industries like oil and gas and so on, have special purpose systems which are designed purely to do one thing. They're much less vulnerable and they don't run nearly as much software. So they're therefore less liable to have an accident just because they're smaller and simpler.
I see.
One of the things the Software Resilience Group is asking us is to look at, do we need all this functionality? It's as if we had, an example, a very fast car with lots of gears and controls, driving the kids to school and back on the same route every day. Do you need a worldwide sat-nav in it? No. Does having a worldwide sat-nav with frequent updates in it make it more likely that things might go wrong? Possibly. Do we need all this functionality and with it the associated risk?
Right.
That is a good question.
Yeah, indeed, and very interesting. And do you think it could change consumer behaviour and business behaviour moving forwards? And are such outages likely to become more frequent?
Two separate questions. More frequent? I think not, because every time this sort of thing occurs, a large number of people will be busy looking at the root cause analysis and trying to make sure that nothing like this happens to us and so on. So while we're getting more dependent, it is also getting more reliable. I mean, these things are not everyday news after all. Should it change consumer behaviour? I think probably not. Should it change business behaviour? I think it should. I think it should cause businesses to look much more carefully at their exposure to IT and ask themselves, am I in fact, by buying just off-the-shelf equipment and installing it with all the antivirus and so on it needs, because it's a general purpose computer with lots of facilities? Am I actually storing up trouble and vulnerability for myself? And companies don't ask that question enough. Companies in safety critical systems will ask themselves, do I need this functionality? If not, I won't have it, because it's a risk without a benefit. But most people don't ask that. Most companies don't ask that question currently.
Well, thank you very much indeed for sharing your thoughts with us. We really appreciate it. That's Professor James Davenport from the University of Bath.